very Merry Christmas to all of you.
Merry Christmas.
You in the back, Merry Christmas. You guys over here, squeeze in the other like sardines. Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making this holiday special. Thank you for believing in the mystery of Christmas. Because if you came here looking for answers, if you came to a church to look for answers, this is not that church. You know, and I hope the people that come here regularly are the ones laughing at that, because we don't deal much in answers here. We deal with questions. We deal with mysteries. We deal with things that we can't quite put our finger on, things that just exist in the periphery of our vision, but things that we know are of God. Things that we believe are of God. And just that word, believe, is an interesting word. Because we all come to this church with our own beliefs about things, right? You know, we believe this is right, we believe this is wrong. We believe these things about God, we don't believe these things about God, or whatever it is. But we all have some manner of belief. I'm always amazed when I deal with couples in counseling, premarital counseling, you know, before they get married, and I'll ask them questions about what they believe about God. And invariably, one of them will say, well, I grew up in a church, I don't really attend that much anymore, and I get that. And the other one will say, well, I went to church as a kid, but it's been so long, I really don't know what I believe. And I say to them, I offer them the chance to have a conversation about what each other does believe in. What do you think about things that we can't explain? What do you think about what happens when we die? Because those are the things that we can talk about in terms of what we think about things, what we believe. But there's another word that is like belief, but is different. Beloved. What does it mean to beloved something? To fall in love with something. Brian McLaren is a wonderful pastor from Maryland, but now he's in Florida. He talks about the idea of belief scaring a lot of people away. And I think it's true. I think a lot of us get scared when we hear about, you've got to believe this, right? You've got to believe this or else. And we hear a lot of that in the world these days. So what Brian McLaren says is, he says, if we don't say that we believe something, but we beloved it, we can hold it with a lot more grace. Right? We can hold it a lot more gently. If we believe something, we've got to hold onto it almost with a clenched fist. And we're almost ready to beat someone up with that fist if they don't believe in it, because that means we're wrong. Right? But if we hold on to it gently, with love, well, our belief becomes something that we love, something we value. Right? And we don't have to use it as a weapon against other people. I was at a church in Washington, D.C., and the priest there was a stickler for time, much more so than I am. And so what he did was, during the services, during long liturgies, he would get rid of the Nicene Creed. You all know what the Nicene Creed is, right? I believe in God, the Father Almighty, I believe in this, I believe in that, right? So he just got rid of it. And the vestry, the elected lay representatives of the church, took him to task for it. They said, hey, why are you getting rid of the creed? Like it was their favorite part of the service or something. And he said, it's long. It was written 1,700 years ago. And the truth is, it trips up a lot of newcomers. To say that you believe in a virgin birth. To say that you believe that these things are true. Right? A lot of us, when we say that creed, we might cross our fingers behind our back twice. Right? So they challenged it. They said, look, use that creed as a teaching example. To say, this is what the church believes, but you don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to hold all those things. Right? It's an anchor from which we can stray. Right? But we always know that it's there. We know, all right, this is where the church is, but where are you? Sometimes I'm all the way over here. Sometimes I've floated far afield. Right? But I always know where the church is. And I always know where I can go. So I play with this idea of to be loved. Because the things of Christmas, the mysteries of Christmas, these things that we can't explain, but that make us view this holiday like a child. I mean, that's the real glory of it, isn't it? when we can see this holiday through the eyes of a 7-year-old, where all is magic, and we can hear the reindeer hoofs on our ceilings, and we can see the soot outside the fireplace where Santa came and laid presents out. I mean, how does that happen? How magical is that? Don't discount it. As adults, a lot of us trade magic for fact at an early age. And when we do that, there's no trade backs. Right? Don't give up that magic. Don't give up that mystery. Don't give up the questions for easy answers. Right? Especially in our faith lives. Especially when we love these things about God. That we believe that God is all forgiving. We believe that God welcomes all. We believe that God spreads a table larger than any of us can imagine to welcome everyone, even our enemies, even those that don't look like us, that don't smell like us, that don't vote like us, that don't talk like us. That's who God spreads the table out for. That's why the table is so big. So when you love that idea of a God, it's like a belief. It is something that can inspire you to go out and be a light of that God in the world. And I think when you believe in a God that's narrow, when you believe in a God that reserves salvation for just those who believe in the right way, I mean, that's something that you have to hold very, very tightly in your hand or else it's going to run away. I think there's a difference here. And at this church, we try to err on the side of grace. We try to err on the side of love. We try to err on the side of saying, if you are here, no matter if this is the first time you've ever been in a church, no matter if this is your first time in a church in 20 years, or the first time you've ever been in a church in 3 years, you belong here. You belong here tonight because God is working in you. God is in you, and that is nothing short of a Christmas miracle. It's magical, and I can't explain it. There's one movie out now called The Shape of Water. And have any of you seen it? Any of you? You need to go see more movies, people. It's a great movie, and they capture a sea creature that apparently is treated like a god in South America. And the government agent who is in charge of the interrogation, as it were, kind of says to his superior, they treat it like a god down there. I think we need to kill it, open it up, and find out how it works. And I think that's what religion does to God sometimes. I think that's what some churches do with God. So this Christmas, can we allow God to be a mystery? Can we allow God's grace seeping through us, working in us, to be something that we don't try to explain, we don't try to understand, but rather that we say, thanks be to God for working in us. Thanks be to God for inspiring my hands to go out and work for justice, to go out and spread that table wider for the immigrant community, for the LGBTQ community, for the people that are on the edges of our society. These two hands can spread that table out. That's our work tonight. To take this Christmas miracle and go out and share it with the world. You can do that. And that is magic. That is also what I believe and believe to be our God. Amen. Amen.